Hi, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be discussing building a new investment property and 7 of the key advantages that you should be aware of. Let's start off with energy efficiency. Energy efficiency and environmentally friendly is a really big thing at the moment, and I think it'll be a big thing moving forward. When you build a new home, you have far more options for energy efficiency than with an established home. And even the construction methods and materials that we're using these days are far more efficient and effective than what they were using years ago. So if you want to go green, investing in a new property is a great way to do that. And you can tailor your property to make it more energy efficient or more environmentally friendly if that's what you want to do. So currently new homes, when they're built, have to meet a 6-star energy rating, and that's about to go to 7-star. So regardless, any new home is going to be far more energy efficient than what we were looking at years ago. We are also coming up with far better and more efficient designs that make heating and cooling a far more energy efficient process. We are also seeing a greater move towards renewables in both construction methods and building technology. Okay, they are also customizable. This is really good because you can go into any different suburb and you can customize your house to meet what people are looking for. You can come up with all sorts of different designs to meet the individual blocks of land. Often what happened with established properties is they started off with a block, that block got smaller and smaller over the years, and then suddenly you don't actually have the best use of the block. Whereas when you have a new home, it's customizable and you can really make the best use of any individual block of land through incorporating design and construction and making sure you get the best use in that suburb or area. You also have the option to play around with different fixtures and fittings. You can up-spec it, down-spec it. You can do all sorts of things that you think may attract a different rental market or even create capital growth or uplift over time. Just by playing around with different designs, inclusions, construction methods, you've got the opportunity to play around with it and see what the market wants. As always, if you're getting value from this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell so that you're notified with each new video that we upload. New properties are far more low maintenance than established ones. You've also got your builder's warranties, your structural warranties, and your fixtures and fittings under warranty as well. That means that if there are things that go wrong over the first few years, you're going to get them replaced, meaning your maintenance can be close to non-existent. And when you've got a new property, you can put the developer or the builder in contact with your property manager and make that maintenance and warranty process really easy. All the call-outs, etc. can be done by the builder's repair team so that you've got peace of mind in what's happening in your property. Tenant appeal. New properties tend to be far more appealing to tenants. If you've got 2 properties side by side, one's quite old and one's brand new, they tend to be attracted to the brand new property. So having a new property gives you an advantage in getting tenants faster and in many cases also getting a higher rental amount. Depreciation and cash flow. Right, we should quickly discuss what depreciation is. Depreciation is the legal tax deduction that you're able to claim for wear and tear on your investment property in Australia. Put simply, you're able to claim a tax deduction due to your property getting older. Now, the amount that you can claim is based on the age of the property. And as a general rule, around 98% of the build cost can be claimed. You can't claim the cost for knocking down a property, and you also can't claim some of the landscaping because trees and grass don't deteriorate. They should get better over time if you water them. The laws changed in 2017, and there's a big difference between claiming depreciation on new property compared to claiming depreciation on an established property. So if you acquired a second-hand residential property with a settlement date of the 10th of May 2017 or later, and it contains previously used depreciating assets, you'll now no longer be able to claim those assets. This refers to the plant and equipment portion of a depreciation schedule, and it includes ovens, dishwashers, lights, air conditioners, televisions, carpets, lounge, suites and blinds, etc. However, the building allowance or claim on the structure of the building has not changed at all. So your component of your fixtures, fittings, etc. If it's an established property that someone else has owned and lived in, you can now no longer claim that portion at the higher amount, which is where you get those larger write-offs in your first couple of years. The capital works deduction's still there, and that's 2.5% of your build cost over 40 years. There are two methods of calculating depreciation from the ATO, and they are prime cost method, which is also referred to as the straight line method, or the diminishing value method. Which method you claim will depend on your individual circumstance and is best discussed with your accountant, but one will give you greater write-offs in the first couple of years and one will give you an even write-off going through the life of the investment property. As you can see, the write-offs available through depreciation for a new investment property are far better than an established property, and this could be the difference between a cash flow that's positive and a cash flow that's negative. It doesn't give you more money in rent, it just gives you the ability to pay less tax, which is really important when you're looking at an investment property. So consider this as part of your process. If you're buying new versus buying established, depreciation can make a lot of difference, so should definitely be considered. You have the ability to create what the market is actually looking for, and this can be really interesting. You can go into a certain market and work out what is demanded. So for example, at the moment, a really big thing that people are after is home offices. Ever since COVID, people have started working from home more than what they were, and as such are looking for places with home offices. So for example, you can go into a suburb and create a property that has a really good home office setup, and you may be able to create a greater yield or greater on sale growth. So looking at the market and deciding what the market wants and putting that into your property is something you have the ability to do with a new property, because you can change designs. It's far easier to do that than it is to retrofit an established property. There's lots of different things that you may be able to incorporate. The market always loves open plan living. If you're in Queensland, making sure you're putting in adequate outdoor areas and entertaining areas. Everybody's outside because of the great weather. You could create really nice low maintenance yards so that people that are renting these properties aren't continually mowing lawns and keeping garden beds. There's also the movement towards smart homes. You could incorporate this technology into your investment property. It may get you greater rent or even greater growth. If you're wanting to keep up with the times, the environmental movement's massive at the moment. So if you're building a new home, you could look at doing things like putting in car chargers or putting in solar electricity to make them more efficient. These are all things that you can incorporate into your new builds that are far harder to do with an established property. So that ability to create what the market is looking for is a really powerful thing. Number one, and I think this is the most important advantage of a new property, and that is you have the ability to create some different types of high yielding properties. For example, you could do rooming houses, duplexes, dual occupancies, granny flats. You could come up with different things to put on Airbnb. These are all things that you have that ability to create when you're designing a new property that's really difficult to achieve in an established property. If you're wanting to do one of these high yielding types of investments, you really need to do them new. Retrofitting or renovating an old property is just a far harder situation than designing them from scratch. So by investing in a new property, you have that opportunity to create high yields that you don't necessarily have with an established property. Okay, I hope you got value from that. As you can see, there are some serious advantages of new property investment that you should be aware of. If you've got value from this video, please like, subscribe, and tick the little bell so that you're notified with each new video that we upload. And as always, if you've got any questions at all, or you want somebody to talk to about a future project, ask at newproperty.com.au and one of our friendly staff will come back to you. Thank you.